Yo, 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 yo. We live in Music Box Studio. I'm
Yes, sir.
Benjamin, you hear me?
Kate Pete.
And we got a special guest today, you dig? This dude is the hottest lawyer in the city, you dig? Whenever anybody asks me if I know a lawyer, if I could send them a lawyer or anything like that, I send them this dude number. You gotta go Burrell. I'm not gonna introduce him you like that. I'm gonna kind of let him say who he is. Then we gonna juice. But this is my partner. Let him know who you is, bro.
Yo, named Dwayne Burrell. I'm with the Burrell firm. We got an office downtown New Orleans. We got one in Ruston. We moving on to Houston now. But yeah, Dwayne Burrell, that's where I am.
Man,
Yes, sir.
look, when I see a fucking wreck and nigga call me, tell me they got into a wreck, I send them because it's almost like I feel like when you know somebody that do something, you gotta support what they do, especially if you don't know a lot of people that do that type of shit. I don't care how big or small it is. Just so happen it's big. Like everybody I know, they want their child to be two things: a doctor or a lawyer.
Right.
You heard me? Like, oh, my
Right.
child gonna be a doctor or a lawyer. You did. I got a lot of friends. You heard me? Like, we got a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends I can say my friend a lawyer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, when I think you was doing like mostly what they call it, injury, personal
Yeah,
injury and stuff
that's
like that.
kind of what I do only now at this point. That's all I do is injury stuff now. I did a little criminal, but I'm moving away from that now.
Moving away from criminal. Well, whenever anybody called me and told me they got into a wreck, I used to always send, look, call my lawyer. You hear me? Like he
Send
gonna
back.
take care of you, and he always took care of them. You dig? And like I ain't gonna say I got jealous of him, but like he wasn't big on social media. I was, right? Then like he started like buzzing in social media, like I'm seeing it with I'm like, hold on, this
Yeah, you definitely
like
see
now
him
you
everywhere.
now you're famous. Like I knew you was gonna be a lawyer, but I didn't think you was gonna be famous though. Like,
Thanks
you
to Supa.
famous.
Thanks to Supa. She hooked me up a little bit.
How,
Yeah,
that,
so.
how that relationship happen?
So I went to school with Supa. In fact, went to Dwayne with her. She got kicked out, I think, after the first year. But yeah, but I went to school with Supa. Man, that was cool. Actually, I was dating her best friend in high school, so that's how we was cool. And shit, relationship just continued on.
What year that was?
Shit, that was like 2004, 2005, I think.
Oh, that was right before.
See, I graduated 06. I would have graduated 06, but Katrina happened.
Wow.
All right.
She was a freshman. I was a sophomore when I think she came to Wayne as a freshman. So whatever that, I think 2003, 2004.
dope.
That-
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So she came a long way, man. Definitely.
So, all right. Tell me about that. Like, tell me more about. Can we dig into that?
Yeah.
Like, all right. So the hurricane hit. So like y'all both just became like known, and then y'all end up linking up. Y'all been.
Oh
kinda
no,
cool.
no. We stayed connected since high school. Like I said, she just been a homie like since way back freshman year at Wayne. So we never fell out of contact. I mean, through the storm, the early 2010s until she blew up. I think she blew up probably. She started buzzing about 2013, 2014. I graduated law school in 14. Shit, she got me to take care of some traffic tickets for her, and you know,
Oh, that's crazy.
that's how I've been. So yeah, so that was about
So y'all
2000.
kind of blew up the same year.
Nah,
Damn,
she really blew up.
No, you really
I'm
blew up, too.
I'm a little blown up, but nah, she really.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, she got the fame, and then she got money with the fame. Like she a hustler, so
Yeah.
so you put a hustler, you give a hustler a tool like fame, they gonna show you how to make money out of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she is big in that aspect, but you big in the whole. Not like what you doing is big too.
Right.
And that's what made me so like crazy, because I'm like, you was like the first lawyer that came from us that I could say, man, that dude was like he was like famous, like niggas like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And it's funny that them ties kind of tied in with you and Supa. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like,
And
oh,
I say the same thing. Like as far as coming up in the game as a lawyer, they got the lawyers that's doing their thing, and you know they doing their thing in the city. But I got my own little market that I'm really catering to as far as with the personal injury and shit. You know, I'm looking like every year it's gonna fall off, but I've been going 8 summers at this point, so still making it.
Man, so bro, you in high school with Supa. At what point you knew you was gonna be a lawyer in high school? When y'all was like when you knew you was gonna be a lawyer?
Fuck no, I ain't know I was gonna be no lawyer. In fact,
Really?
I was playing ball. Thankfully for Hurricane Katrina, that kind of like shifted. I was playing ball and I wasn't that good, but you know, Katrina happened. Went to Houston, got kicked off the basketball team, got put out or whatnot because they was having them Houston versus New Orleans fights.
Wow.
Shit, so I couldn't graduate, but I got my diploma. Well, I ain't got my diploma. They told me they mailed it. I ain't never get it.
Wow.
But they ain't let me walk the stage or nothing. So at that point, I went to Southeastern. I went there for 1 semester. I knew I was going to transfer after like 2-3 days. Then I went to UNO, and honestly, it was a situation where I just didn't want to stop. I didn't want to go get a job, so I just kept going to school. I ended up being a lawyer. I'm keeping it 100% real with you. I ain't want to go get a job, so I just ended up going to law school.
That was the way to keep the grants rolling the longest.
Shit.
Get the fuck
For real. That's 100% honest true. I just ain't
God
want to go
got
get a job.
something for you. You hear me?
Because I had a couple jobs. I worked at like JCPenney and Best Buy, but shit, I worked at Best Buy for like 3 weeks, JCPenney for like 46 hours. So I was like, I ain't trying to do that. I can't do it. So I just kept going to school.
So you went from Best Buy, J.C. Penney's, to a fucking law.
Yeah, that's about. Well, I worked at Kmart too, but I worked there for about
But what made
less than 6 weeks.
What made you choose law? Like you could have
Yeah,
been.
any
You
lawyers
could have went
in
to
the
school for a
family?
lot of shit. Why law?
We ain't got no lawyers in the family.
That's
like,
what kept him in school the longest.
I mean, medical could have went longer, but I wasn't trying.
No, I ain't gonna lie. A lot of people like when you look at the whole college regime, right?
Mm.
When you think law, you think that's gonna cost me a lot of money. So a lot of people don't really fuck with it because not the time, it's the money. What made like?
So for me, I was thankful when I transferred to UNO. So I left Southeastern, went to UNO. My dad, the director of financial aid at UNO, so I kind of that didn't cost me no money to go to UNO. Mm-hmm. And even though my grades wasn't the greatest, I got a partial scholarship to LSU for law school, so it wasn't that bad. I was right there in Baton Rouge. They had the cost of living, having your own place and shit like that. But I mean, it didn't cost me that much. Plus, I looked at it like shit. If I can get $100,000 in debt, but I'm making $100,000 a year, shit, they're gonna get paid when I get paid. I'm gonna pay them all. That's how I looked at it, and that's what it is. It's a legal hustle for me.
So, how you got the thing to LSU? You was at one school. What school?
I went to UNO for undergrad.
UNO. So how you end up getting
So when I realized I wasn't gonna like be done with school and go into the real world and whatnot, and I ain't gonna lie to you, back when I was like 17, 18. And I was going to law school, I was messing with the stock market. This back 2008, and I was heavy in the stock market, like before everybody was really dealing with it. But I was playing with chump change, like $3,000. So I was dealing with that. So when I was done with UNO, I was like, I'm gonna move to New York, go to deal with the stock market type shit. But that wasn't really working out for me. I ain't really had the funds to really go and move to New York. So. Right. I started looking into law, and everybody in my family always said, "You're gonna be a lawyer. All you do is argue and shit like that. The normal shit.
Right.
Somebody tell their kids." Right. So they always told me that. So I was like, "Fuck it. I guess I'll try to go be a lawyer." And LSU accepted me. That's how it happened.
So wait, why they accepted you?
And I'm gonna keep it 100% honest with you. Like my GPA at Rod Wayne was like a 2.6, enough to play basketball. My GPA at UNO was like about a 2.8. So it's like my grades wasn't that great, but that's why I paid a little bit more than what most people would pay when they go to law school because you can get the scholarships. But my GPA in law school was a 3.4. So it just, I just got it together when I got to law school. It was a little different. So, my path is a little different from my younger brother. That dude went to Ben Franklin. He was getting 4.3s and shit. But me, I'm worried about basketball, playing around and shit like that. So I don't know why LSU accepted me. Appreciate y'all.
Change your life.
Yeah.
Oh, LSU just accepted this dude, an average dude,
Yeah.
like an athlete that's average with average grades,
Yeah.
and LSU just accept you. Like that shit is crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
so I went to LSU. Shit, did my little 3 years there, and I hung a shingle when I first graduated. I just went and did my own thing. Yep.
And then your little brother following your footsteps.
Right, and he was trying to, go down a different path, try to be a police officer and shit like that. I'm like, nah, man, you can't do that. He went to Ben Franklin. He went to fucking LSU for undergrad. So he ended up going to Tulane Law School, which is like top 20 in the state. I mean, in the nation.
In the
so,
world, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Mhm.
So your little brother following your footsteps. That gotta make you proud, bro.
Right, yeah, because, I mean, I wasn't going to be proud of being a police officer. I wasn't. Not that there's anything wrong with being a police officer. They cool. I got family members that are police officers. But he way too smart for that. So
Right.
I'm like, nah. Like, if
But the
it,
police officer like a system job.
yeah.
Like with a law, you get to think and kind of hustle and like you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And
And he was talking about he wanted to be an
responsibilities, too.
FBI agent and stuff. That's why he was going that path. But
Right.
still, I mean, nah. This the right path for you.
Dog.
Yeah.
Like, what part of the city y'all from?
Uptown, 1021 Melpomene Street. We got a little clothing brand out, 1021 Street Apparel. But that's where I'm from, 1021 Melpomene, between Constance and Magazine, right there on Melpomene. We call that Round Swagman.
Huh, bro?
This is a conversation to be had, bro. A real conversation. And I don't look.
New Orleans need to see more of this.
See, that's not where I'm going with this, though. Like, Uptown, like I really started this podcast today to get on the ass, bro. Like, because we know y'all got, like we know y'all the toughest motherfuckers on earth. You did. We know y'all got all the bitches and all the money. Like, home of the #1 stunner, home of the two like
Record label.
like record labels that like change hip hop in culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we respect that shit, but they are also the reason why we got a lot of fuckery. You hear me? But I'm happy he came here today because I never knew where he was from in the city. I would have never thought, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the fuckery come from Uptown, dog.
I ain't from
Like,
the third wall, I'm from the 10th wall, though. So all that come on the other side.
but what I'm saying when I talk about the fuckery, I'm talking about
Rappers.
like
Everybody wanna be rappers.
No, not just rap. I'm talking about like the toxicity in the city
Yeah.
come all from Uptown, and you from the 10 wall too. You did like all that
Like what?
because
Like what?
all the toxic shit, and I'm gonna tell you why. And it's some real shit. When dope first started getting pushed, right? Dope got pushed through the ports. So the cities who had ports got all the best dope. So the dope had to come through the port, and then it trickled through everywhere else. So you might get an ounce of whatever drug here for $30. By the time that drug got to St. Louis, that drug was like $70, $80. It didn't triple in almost in profit just because, bitch, we gotta come bring it to you. Y'all don't have no port. We
Right.
get it straight from the source. And the port is right by the fucking project. The tent wall in the fucking St. Thomas. So now you have a poor black community getting all these truckloads and not just boats, trains too, coming through here, right? We can't work and get nothing. Like, y'all on our ass, but we got this direct source of drugs coming straight, pumping straight through our community.
That ain't Uptown fault, though.
No, it's not
I'm
their
about to
fault.
say, you about to blame Uptown for it?
But,
Damn.
but it ruined the childhood of the children.
I mean, I'm not going to say it
But
didn't.
it happened to them first. Like, think about it. As a black community in New Orleans, right? We all came from different resources. Some people came in as slaves. Some people came in as Indians. Like, you had all these different Haitians. You got all these different colors of black in New Orleans, right? And when they started, like, pumping the fuck shit, they started Uptown. Like, when they started, like, pumping the drugs and the violence and all that type of shit, they started Uptown. When the East got bad is when All that shit from uptown came to the east.
Sound like you from the east or something.
I'm not from the east.
Across the river.
Yeah, I'm from
I
across
think
the
it's
river.
from-
No, but I know that the people who had the most money, like drug money or even access, was the people who was the closest to the ports. You know what I'm saying? So that ruined the childhood of some of the kids because you living in a project with a nigga that really got $10 million.
Right.
Dog, nobody in a project supposed to have $10 million. But you'll have 5 niggas in a project with at least $1 million. That fuck with a childhood of kids. Like, you around millionaires that's shooting at each other and shit. Like, that's getting killed in the street. So that fuck up. We ain't really a lot of the people in the East at the time, they was living in 2-parent households.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the dream, nigga. Get you some money, move to the East. The East was like Black Harlem. It was the Mecca. You know what I'm saying? All the uptown niggas with the money, when he got that real money, he moved to the East. Lil Wayne from Holly Grove, when he got bread or whatever, you get your house in the East, nigga looked at you different at the time.
All right.
And that was our thing. But the flip side of that, having that drug money flooding through your community, is when the violence come in. And nobody want to really touch on that. They like to talk about everything else. That's why I was surprised you was even, like, you know, Supa from...
I get
17.
it.
Yeah, she's from the 17.
Yeah,
Because they
get the
have a
whole
lot of...
story now.
Y'all brought everything to the game, right? But that came with another side of the coin, unfortunately, that we don't never, ever address. We never talk about that other side of the coin where y'all the coolest niggas in the city. Y'all set all the trends, right? All the fire music, all the fire record companies, all that shit, uptown shit. Every time they get a hot buzzing rapper, nigga, that's why Ride 49 was so special, because he was a downtown nigga. But you got the BTYs, you got the BGs, you got the Lil Waynes, you go on and on and on and on and on.
BG Barrett.
Dog, that whole Cash Money line, nothing but like
Uptown, yeah.
up the top to bottom from the Nino Calvins. Like, they never stop producing fucking stars and people that could just steal your spotlight and still, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was at work today and the girl said something funny. She said, the reason why shit's so boring, because y'all killed all the cool niggas. Y'all killed the funny niggas. Everybody dead. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Are you talking about uptown or downtown?
No.
Right, it's downtown right now.
Right.
Shit.
Right now is everybody running a race. What I'm saying is when they first started fucking up New Orleans, they started coming through them ports, fucking up uptown first, because that was some real families. Like, uptown is about families. When you say the Greens, you say the Allens, you say, like, these were prominent families that had businesses uptown. Like, even Baby to this day, Miss Jackie Ball called Fire or something like that. I don't know if they reopened or not, but Miss Jackie Ball been pumping since Baby, kind of like, you know, since forever. That ball never stopped pumping. You have real black businesses up that ain't never go nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's still like the Mecca, but I don't think we appreciate that sometimes. You did, like, and I think that sometimes, like, the people that's uptown, they get in such a competition with each other because everybody's so fucking fly that the shit become toxic sometimes.
Is that an uptown thing or a New Orleans thing?
Y'all started it.
It might be New
Y'all
Orleans.
started it because y'all the most consistent fly niggas.
I ain't even look at it all like the port and all that
Son,
type
y'all been holding, son, a nigga uptown been in the mix in the top 5 niggas in the city since fucking 79. Nigga.
I know how he looking at this right now. I don't know how to answer that.
Like, it's facts. Like, y'all have had a nigga who was running the city.
My come up ain't no for drugs though.
From the Glen Mets to the, like, all these niggas is uptown niggas. All these niggas ran shit. You did, like, and even from Baby, look at Cash Money Records. That dude ain't never stopped running shit. P was running shit, right? They said, damn, Master P running shit. Then Baby started running shit. And he ain't never gave the game back, dog. Cause that's what an uptown nigga gonna do. He gonna he like, let me get the control. Let me show you. Nigga, he ain't getting the game back. So no, get that nigga the fucking controller. You hear me? How you feel coming from uptown, right? And you know some of the negative biases like that. You know what I'm saying? And you know the street politics. How that feel for you and even you coming from y'all walks of life.
Shit, it's crazy because I was just talking to somebody about this about a month ago or so. Like, I was talking to a fellow lawyer on the other side of a case I had, and he was like, "Hey man, where you grew up at?" And normally when I'm talking to hood niggas, you know, it's different. I be like, I'm from uptown, you know, the 10th Ward, it's around Swagman. But I told him where I lived at, and he was like, "Oh, that's a pretty nice neighborhood." And it's crazy because it really is a really nice neighborhood now. But back then, I'm like, you don't even know. Like you've been imported into New Orleans. Yeah. He don't know nothing about New Orleans. So when he heard me say I was from around Melpomene Magazine, he was like, "Oh man, that's a really nice neighborhood." Right. So it's really crazy. Like I can actually say where I'm from, and it seems cool to the lawyers, but also for people from the street, they like, "Damn, you came from around Swagman." So. It's kind of different for me, but I came from a 2-parent household, even from way back. My parents been married 30 plus years now, so it's always been like that for me. But we still came from the street, so I don't know. Like I said, I ain't never look at it the way you looking at it with the ports and everything like that. I just looked at it as shit. That's my life. I'm living like I was having fun back then. Right. Shit. I ain't know. All my partners and shit would be gone and shit like that, but. This is how it was. Yeah.
I grew up in Holly Grove. Fuck. I don't know, bro. What was the question? I think I lost.
Like when you talking about living uptown, right? How do you feel like that really affected your life? That's what I want to really know. Like,
honestly,
because
I don't think
I'm looking at it from the outside looking in. I'm from across the river, so I always admire my family of Josephine, right? I always did admire because I was a hip hop fan. So you got fucking Partners in Crime, UNLV, BG, Lil Wayne, Fiend, all these people from uptown. You know what I'm saying? You had downtown rappers, but they had uptown had flooded the market so much with fire artists and talent and shit that it was like fuck y'all, they was buzzing. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna make you look at that part of a town like different. You know what I'm saying? Like
I grew up in Holly Grove, so you've been in my current house,
right?
Just imagine my house that I grew up in, just like that. So I wasn't necessarily
2-parent household.
Grandma and grandpa.
Well, that's 2-parent household, but extension.
So I'm not a product of my environment. You did. I grew up in the hood, but that ain't me,
right?
At all. It didn't affect me at all, bitch. My slang.
How many of your friends, how many friends you lost to gun violence?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, but how many? You lost a lot of friends to gun violence?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And I mean, like I said, but when I realized what the question is, I kind of moved from around Swagman when I was maybe 8, because I ended up moving to the 7th Ward. So we moved across the street from the Bernard when I was like 7, 8, and I lived there up until high school. Then we moved to Kenner. So I don't really think that really had no effect on me. Like I said, I had both of my parents, so they kind of kept me grounded. Right. But my partners was my partners. They come from the hoods that I was from. But yeah, I lost quite a bit of people to gun violence, or they in jail. Right. Yeah. So. And
me being from Marrero, bro, like I can't say like I grew up in a time in Marrero where shit was just getting bad. You know what I'm saying? When I was in school and shit, like shit was just like. It was still kind of good, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like on that verge. Not a bitch like the Carter. Not like
shit like the East.
Yeah, that bitch like the other East. Right. Yeah, they're like they like Russia. If the East is the Middle East and we're in Northeast, that's Russia. You're like them motherfuckers is ruthless. They're like so. I grew up there, you dig, and a lot of shit, I watched this shit turn. You know what I'm saying? I watched, but I had never, I can't even remember. It was probably like in the 2000s. I was probably like 18 or 19 by the time I had lost a friend to gun violence, and he was older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like he was one of my peers. He was like one of the older dudes from the hood. But like, I still can't really remember what year it was when it was probably like later in the 2000s when I really lost a friend to gun violence.
Yeah.
Like, niggas will fight. Somebody might get shot from some random shit, but everybody wasn't toting guns. Everybody had no guns. It was more like fights. Like, pull up and sneak. The worst that can happen, nigga, sneak you. You did, nigga, like, man, nigga snuck you. Like, that was the worst shit. Nigga wasn't worried about you coming shoot you up or no shit like that.
That's our age, though. So that's how I was. I ain't lose nobody when I was growing up to gun violence.
Right, but
like
later,
they losing them right now. Like these kids losing partners every week. You know, I ain't lose. I lost all my people that I lost to gun violence. I'm 33 now.
Right.
Through my 20s, that's when that started happening.
Shit. And dog, like, I don't know, bro. Like, one thing, the graduation shit kind of shook me, right?
Yeah.
Because all our kids gotta graduate.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about last week, if somebody hit you in public, what you gonna do about it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if
hit me, like step on my shoes, or like really sneak me,
like punch you. You had a graduation, right? You had a graduation, dude. You might. His girl might like you.
Y'all going back and forth.
Yeah, like
he punch you.
And he punch you at the graduation.
I might have to be a bitch because I ain't fighting no nigga in the city these days. Like, I hope I don't even get in that type of situation. But
so you'll turn the other cheek?
I'm going to have to turn the other cheek, and they can call me whatever they call me.
So how hard is that to do, son?
I think that's real easy.
It's real easy for me.
For niggas that got shit going on, and you hold the weight that I hold these days, that shit real easy for me.
Yeah, I'll be a bitch. I'm going to let you sneak me or whatever the case. Because, look, my kids need me to keep doing what I'm doing. They living comfortably.
So they can live a certain type of way.
I ain't about to.
This shit don't come cheap, man. That nigga ain't about to fuck that up for me.
Yeah, I ain't got no ego.
You a gun owner?
No, I don't like guns.
You a gun owner? All right. So it's funny you say that because this is why I wanted to ask him. Because if you a gun owner, right? At what point do you feel like you defending yourself with your firearm or something like that? And I'm not just talking about the graduation thing. I'm just saying in public things happen, right? You have people who got like license to carry pistols in public.
Part of that license is knowing when to pull that motherfucker out.
Shit.
But even police officers who train, like, you know what I'm saying, like. So that's a thin line. You can't really use that because, you know, we talking about people who.
Yeah, but chances for them is they going home.
Yeah, they going home. Like
but for me,
I represented last week, same kind of situation. So let me run
Can you talk about that?
Let me run it to you. So
wait, you could talk about that?
Yeah, I can talk about it. We tried last week. All right. Yeah. So this is a situation that happened in March of 2021. We went to try that fast.
Right.
And this is in Ruston, so this is up there in Lincoln Parish. Mm-hmm. He at home, it's an older dude, you know, he at home drinking, they just drinking. And he invited his neighbor to the house. He thought his neighbor was locked out or whatnot. They drank, and they've been drinking for like 4 hours. They inside the home. Dude legally licensed to carry and whatnot, but he's in his home at this point now. He's not even in the street, no graduation or anything. The dude that he invited over, drunk on the sofa, and now we know his BAC level was a .427, so he should have been dead just off the alcohol. Well, dude getting crazy on the sofa, talking reckless to my client, and they get into a little argument. My client go and get his gun, come back and say, dude, you got to leave. Dude keep telling him, I ain't going nowhere. One thing led to another. The dude come and rush him. My client defend himself, whatnot, shoot him, call the police immediately. And that's the difficult part about the case. He called 911 immediately, voluntarily gave a statement, and I'm not going to go into those things because we're going to have an appeal coming. But he shot the guy defending himself in his home, and most people say, look, man, I got to defend myself, and That man in jail now. He been in jail since March 15, 2021. And my thing is, even if I am right in that situation, even if I had gone to trial and beat it, which it came back on the manslaughter, but we're going to appeal that. Even if I did that, I've been away from my kids 14 months. Right. No money coming in for 14 months. It ain't worth it. So, and I'm not in a situation where I'm like, I'm going to let somebody off me and versus me defending myself. But, you know, the police going to interrogate you. They're going to lock you up at that point in time, and you got to go and fight for your freedom.
Stupid question. Was it because he invited him to his house?
No, so there was some other problems with the case. The pathologist said the guy was shot in the back 3 times, versus, you know, being shot in the front. That's always a difficult situation.
You can't shoot nobody in the back.
I mean, the jury had their questions. I think you can shoot people in the back. I don't think that's an issue because people turn quick. You know, if I pull out the gun and you turn and I let it off, I already made my decision. I'm shooting you. That's true. So what you got shot at shouldn't necessarily matter. But before we went to trial, we were just doing mock juries, asking everybody, like, man, your dude going to jail for life. That's second degree murder. And they deliberated for like 4.5 hours, and they came back with a manslaughter. And we talked to some of the jurors, and they was close to sending them home. The only issue was the back shot. So, they were like, those back shots, we couldn't really get around that.
Because they almost said that I'm about to leave. I'm like, fuck you.
So he wasn't going to the door. He went back to where he was on the sofa. And my guy said, look, he was going to get his knife. They had a gun that was hanging up on the wall. It was a fake gun. That dude didn't know it was fake when he was going towards it. So, like I said, I feel like the guy was justified. But is it worth it? The dude probably would have beat your ass in there, because he was drunk out of his mind. He probably wouldn't have killed you. So I'm thinking I'll just take that ass whooping.
Shoot him in his leg.
But that was my point for bringing up this whole subject. And we're going to get to the graduation situation. But that was my point in bringing up this subject was that when you are a gun owner, you have to be prepared to be a murderer. Like that's just the basis of it.
I don't want one. I don't even want to have to make that decision. I don't want nobody taking my life, so I'm getting close towards, going to get me a gun.
He lying.
He
got a gun, y'all.
Nah, I ain't got no gun. I ain't saying people around me don't have guns.
You come in my house.
Look, the thing about a gun is you can't say you have one, but you can't say you don't have one.
Nah, I can definitely have one, but I ain't got none. I'm telling you. I can say I have a gun. I don't have no gun. I'm telling you, I'm close to getting to one.
Right. Because what?
City wild.
Because what?
The city, man, they wild.
So
can't get gas.
You think the gun gonna save you?
No, I don't. So
why are you close to buying one?
I don't know. I'm falling for the hype. Like,
try to be shady, motherfucker.
I'm really falling for the hype because
the news articles getting to you.
Yeah, because I don't think if somebody trying to, plot on me, I'm not prepared for self-defense in that context. And if I'm able to really self-defend, then at that point I probably could have avoided the situation. That's my honest opinion, but I know legally that's not what it is. So I can defend myself even if I could have, diffused the situation or whatnot. But for me, I'm like, I'd rather not have to take nobody's life because I don't, not just because I don't want to go through the prison system, but I just like debt is too final. So I take that, too serious.
You think his mic good?
Listen, just turn it up.
Yeah, I see that bitch kind of fall.
Look, you just lift it. Look, turn it up like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. Yeah. So, but that's my thing about having a gun, dog. Because once you have a gun, you gotta be ready to be a murderer. Like, and a lot come with that shit. Like,
right.
So you have the situations going on. Not just at the graduation. We lost an 80-year-old grandmother. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I almost cried. I ain't cried, but I was like, kind of like, because I'm thinking the whole time I'm reading this shit. I'm just thinking to myself, this is not right.
Right.
Like, I've been in New Orleans on at second line days where they ain't have no shooting and everybody drinking and smoking and the kids chilling, like, and everybody having fun. You like, man, this shit, like, you can't get no better than this. You know what I'm saying? The weather good and everything, food good. And then you say, all right, that same city developed shooting a 80-year-old grandmother at a graduation dispute. You did. And I said, man, this is not right. That's all I could think. This is not right.
I mean, yeah, it's a crazy situation, honestly. And I understand it's a city problem, but it's not really a city problem. Because that goes on everywhere. Like that craziness. We just had a mass shooting at an elementary school, a week before that happened. Different kind of circumstances. Yeah, but they just had one last night in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You don't think that's different?
Yeah, it's different. I mean, I'm not saying it's not different, but I'm not going to put too much on New Orleans. Like New Orleans, just the worst. We got problems. The problems goes back to, the problem that's always been the problem. We starting 1,000 laps behind, and you got to catch up. And when you ain't got no hope, it's kind of hard. I mean, I grew up with people that sat next to me in school, but they went home and their mom probably was on drugs. They didn't have a dad. My dad and my mom was at home. It's a different kind of situation. I can't blame them for being where they're at, but that's just the situation. So I'm not gonna. It's a bad situation. The city out of hand. I'm not, no doubt about it. The city out of hand. But that happens everywhere. I'm not going to just say the city of New Orleans, the only one that have the problem. But that's to watch a grandmother, or going back to when they did the carjacking on an old woman, threw out that's a situation that kind of like, I'm like, damn, man, they had like 4 other cars lined up. Y'all could have went and stole one of those cars like that.
That was down the street from my kid's school. I had to go pick them up from there.
That's great. Like, they got 4 other cars. They chose this lady car. I mean, I understand the push to start stuff. They need somebody to be in the car to steal them. These days, that's probably need to go back to the old days where you can hijack them bitches, because, I mean, those kind of situations make you mad, but you can turn on the TV in, Chicago or Miami or even, Biloxi.
So people, I perform in a French Quarter a lot as a musician, and I park in the parking lot, whatever. But there's a parking lot immediately across the street from the police station. Mm-hmm. They bust out all the windows.
Wow.
No, that shit not funny.
They wilding out here, man.
That's the city we live in.
That shit not funny, though.
It's across the street from the police station. All the windows gone, man.
Oh, that's so disrespectful.
So my thing is, what's the problem? Because, like I said, I know ultimately, like, having no hope and stuff like that, but they're a little rougher than what they was when we grew up. That shit retarded.
This was Tuesday.
Damn. That's crazy.
What the fuck we gonna do? Like literally, this was my thing that I wanted to bring up. Why is it that most black crime is like retaliatory shit? Like, we don't know what happened at that graduation, right? We don't, but we can't say it was probably some retaliatory shit. Yeah. It was probably some shit that you done to me. Oh, now I'm about to do this to you. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
I can answer that question.
All black crime is all. You a lawyer?
All white crime is like that as well.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah, it is. I disagree.
All these mass shootings, the last mass shootings that was out in the other states and shit like that, just been insane fucking white people. Like, they ain't have real beef.
They criminals.
They didn't have, but they didn't have a real beef with a person.
They was just, the dude went and killed his grandmother. He had beef with his grandmother. I mean, you may look at it
why
like,
he went and killed the other people?
It's because the police ran him off into the school, and he knew they was about to kill him at that point.
Because you fucking mental.
I ain't giving him that mental. That's giving him a break. That's giving him a break. He was Mexican, but I ain't giving him that break.
Mexican, not black.
Nah, he a criminal, just like.
No, he is a criminal. What I'm saying is,
but I'm not giving him the mental.
That's
giving him out.
They not going out and mass shooting up they ops. Like, we mass shooting like personal beef shit. They fucking, like, they going in fucking random shit. Even when they bombed the fucking bomb, that was like one of the first big domestic terrorism situations in Oklahoma City. Everybody knew that was a white dude. Like, even online, like, they joke and they say it was like certain white dudes, they look like school shooters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, oh, he looked like a school shooter. At some point when Columbine happened, if you was in school during the time, they had white boys in our school wearing trench coats and
when they gonna label white men as terrorists?
And they criminals, but most of the people that he killed,
they been our terrorists. I don't know who the fuck.
But it wasn't
what day are you saying? Because they the only terrorists we ever knew. Like, that other terrorist shit, we don't know nothing about that. We only know.
you giving them a break by saying mental.
Mental health, yeah.
I ain't buying that. But like I said, when they went to Columbine and
The reason why I say it's mental
that was
because
all white people they killed for the most part.
yes, I'm not saying they don't kill their own people. What I'm saying is you can understand if you punch me, I'm gonna punch you, and you might hit me with a stick, then I might shoot you. Like, I understand that transaction of events. What I don't understand is you living in your mama fucking cushed up house, you talking shit in her house, you're being disrespectful, she not checking that shit, she not whooping you. Now you got a beef with black people or Mexicans or gays, and now all of a sudden you gonna go in your mama house, grab her gun, and go to a random fucking school and shoot up some children, or
But
go
see, I
to a
think that's
mall
worse.
and shoot up some shit. Like, but that's mental. That's some
Nah, that
shit
ain't
that I don't
mental.
understand, because that's just like having a pit bull. The reason why everybody don't have pit bulls
I see what you're
is because
saying.
that bitch might eat my baby.
I see what you're saying by saying mental. I see what you're
That's
saying.
some mental shit.
But
You
nah,
not
it's still
about to-
criminal. It's still criminal. I mean, you could say it's mental. Yeah, it's mental.
criminal too,
but
but-
you might say it's mental to just start shooting at a graduation where you know all these families out there. That's crazy. Especially they got crime cameras and shit. I know people that commit crime
You a lawyer.
on camera.
You a lawyer. You a defense lawyer or you a prosecutor?
No,
or you a
I don't
defense?
prosecute. I never prosecute.
All right,
I do
all right.
criminal
So
defense.
you defend motherfuckers who might be guilty, like depending on how you look at guilt. All right.
It ain't about whether they're guilty or not. So that's not even the question. So let me answer that, because a lot of people talk about that. Look, if a person is guilty, there's nothing I should be able to do to get you off, because it's on the prosecutor to go and prove the case. We have a presumption of innocence. So if they go and do their job, they did everything right, they're gonna convict my guy. There's nothing I can do. I'm not. Much credit to Fuller. He be pulling rabbits out the hat, and that's my dog. But what I'm saying is, there's nothing that you can do to get somebody off that's guilty if they did everything appropriately. My job is to make sure they're doing everything right. They shouldn't be questioning you when you ask for a lawyer. And if they got a confession out you, whether you did it or not, that shouldn't come into the trial. Because as long as they're able to do it, and the court to let them do it, they're gonna keep doing it. And they're gonna get people that's innocent to confess to stuff that they didn't do. We know that happens. So,
And a lot of these crime, because I know about something recent, the bullshit on the interstate, that shit ain't targeted. That shit road rage.
yeah, just be random. So that's why I said. So you can count that as mental. It's mental that somebody just snuck you and you want to go and kill them. They know you killing them. That's final.
These
So,
niggas shooting on the interstate because niggas cutting them off.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. If
I think
somebody,
you're giving them a break.
Think about this. We live in a city where somebody could have a altercation with somebody in public, shoot them down, right?
And if you can't find them,
the
get somebody
police
else.
might look for them for a few days, might catch them, pick them up, they pose bond, be right back out at the second line with the dude's sister who he just fucking killed, like it's fucking normal. It's what you think her brother's gonna feel like about that situation.
But you don't think that's mental?
No. But at what point do you blame the system? Because it's like you letting murderers walk, which that's like the law got to deal with that, and
Right.
people handling that, and that's putting the general public in danger. Because now you have people who murder people just walking around while they fucking court date and the fucking other side not waiting on no court date. They like, man, this bitch on Instagram stunting. I
heard
want to
everything
handle
you
this
say.
shit.
You almost kind of brought up 3 different issues that we have in the city at the same time.
And that's the problem. We got so many issues going on. That's what leads to where we at.
But you have to start somewhere. Like, you have to start and address the shit somewhere just to get to the root of the shit.
I think ultimately, like Tupac said, I'm a biggest Tupac fan. Like, economics is the biggest thing. I mean, if everybody was,
I'm about to say, they pulled the money from everything. They sucked every program dry.
yeah, if people had money, they wouldn't be living like that. You don't see. I mean, it's happening with the celebrities that got money or whatnot, like the Young Thugs and shit like that. But for the most part, Diddy and them, they go and party every night. They having a good time. They go home. They bring some females. They living. So if everybody in the city had those opportunities, I think they'll be better off. You'll still have crime, but we have crime in every community. We got crime in the country towns in Mississippi where there's all white people. It just happens. Crime gonna happen. It's
So
gonna
you don't
happen.
think it's a trickle? I really think crime is a trickle down. Like, Slidell is a perfect example. You just was talking about Slidell. We were talking about Slidell. It's the perfect example. Jefferson Parish and Slidell are perfect examples of what I'm talking about when crime trickling down. Everybody knew that they look at New Orleans like Sodom and fucking Gomorrah. Like when Harry Lee was in charge, Harry Lee used to slam them fucking borders. Like they shit free, shit nice and fun in New Orleans. Once you hit Jefferson Parish, bitch, put your fucking seatbelt on. You heard be quiet, put on some church music, put the Bible on the fucking dash and do the speed limit.
But they still committing crime in JP. You are gonna, you're gonna think a little more when you're in JP. I know I do, especially in St. Tammany, because you can't beat St. Tammany. So I'm strapping up. I'm making sure everything good when I go to St. Tammany.
It's the same way.
Yeah.
So like, they know what the crime is in the city, so they buckling down. Like we don't want to live in a place where the police trying to buckle down on us and arrest their way out of the situation. So what the fuck we gotta address the shit like as a people.
That's gonna be the new
and
thing.
You in the court system.
We're gonna have to.
It's interesting for me to ask you that.
We don't have the police manpower to control this bitch no more.
So it's on us because they don't give a fuck. They still gonna get paid regardless.
Man, I feel like this is probably not the best thing to say, but we lost a generation of kids. You're not changing them. But I feel like we got some kids. That's why anything to do with kids, I'm always supporting.
You was in that generation.
Yeah, but
I think he's talking about the generation after us.
But he the generation that lost that fucking But
no,
what are you talking about? Because your generation lost a lot coming straight out of high school and shit. So you talking about the babies during that time.
My mom brought up a good point, which is crazy because she was saying,
90s babies.
All right. Yeah, so my mom was saying, like the kids that was like
right over my head,
kids that was like 1 to 6 that was doing Katrina, they the ones that's committing this crime right now.
Just think about that shit.
Just think about. My mama brought this up. I was like, damn, that's a good point. They living at the Superdome where everybody just looking bad, like they're living in a third world country, and they got these images in their head. And I was thinking when mom told me, I'm like, damn, you right. That might be really fucking these kids up. And that's the generation I'm saying we probably can't save them.
Them 2000s, the end of the 90s.
Them kids that was born from like 2000 to 2006, they kind of screwed up. And like I said, I wouldn't want to give up on nobody, but I feel like we'll be wasting money trying to save that generation because they've been through too much. But after them, so after 2008, them kids, we can really save them, put money behind them.
So fuck all them before that.
I ain't said that.
But that kind of gave the New Orleans kids their excuse.
You have a wreck, bitch.
But what about the kids all around the U.S., that same age group? They all fucked up.
Man, you're right. I mean,
it's just that
kids. That explain everything. Uptown New Orleans.
I'm taking New Orleans out of it.
Like Chicago.
No.
Philly.
Before New Orleans fucked all that up. Chicago was the only place in Chicago that was bad was Cabrini Green. Oh. Everybody knew this, right? Once Larry Hoover went to jail, all that shit was peace and humble. The motherfucking Katrina children went to Chicago and started all that fucking records.
They definitely did it in Atlanta and Houston.
Every city in America got corrupted with what started in Uptown New Orleans.
I don't think they made Chicago.
That's when Young Thug started doing this thing in Atlanta because the New Orleans niggas started.
Yes, it gave us Burrell, the attorney brothers, and yes, it gave us Supa, the fucking guru and fucking makeup giant and Instagram and internet sensation. It gave us a lot of that beauty, but it fucked up America, bro. Like
I said, when my mom brought up that point, I was like, damn, that's a good. I mean, living through that and really not having no hope, and then you got a lot of people that, because when we left for Katrina, I mean, I took one little basketball bag, I took my camcorder,
book bag.
Yeah, I was like, I'll be back.
Monday.
I'll be back Monday. Wow. I'm worried about the basketball season. I'm watching games. So when I got to Houston, they said, we're going to be living here. I'm like, damn, I ain't got no clothes. So luckily, like I said, I had both of my parents. They was giving out a little money or whatnot. And I'm low maintenance, so I don't really need much to really get by. But like that, losing that kind of stuff, and it comes back to economics. So if I ain't really got a way of making it out, why do I care if you gonna make it out? Fuck you. I'm worried about myself at this point. So I don't care that you have a nice house. I don't care that you have a nice car. I'm taking that because I don't have it. And I don't have no real way of getting it unless I hit the Powerball. I ain't hitting the Powerball, so I'm going to take your shit.
And you
So-
damn sure ain't about to take mine, playboy.
How much time we got?
We got about 10 minutes.
All right. I wanted to get to this. You being in the court system, right? How much you feel like we as like the people of New Orleans just misinformed on a lot of things? Like with you being an insider in the you vote, you know what I'm saying? You do all the things that people say you should do, and you know, like you're an upstanding New Orleans citizen. You like how far off is the average New Orleanian from your line of
So
profession?
I give two, one in criminal and one in the personal injury world. I'll start with the personal injury world, and then I get serious. So one big thing I know that we have a problem with, and it's hard trying to get people that are non-lawyers to really recognize and understand it, is uninsured motorists. And not this is totally like not about what we was talking about, but a lot of people will buy uninsured motorist coverage, and they'll get in a wreck and somebody hit them on a hit and run, or somebody hit them and they have insurance and I say, look, we're going to make a claim for uninsured. No, I don't want to do that. My rate's going to go up. One, it can't go up. They can't raise your premiums. And then two, if you have uninsured motorists on your insurance and you don't use it when somebody hit and run you, or you don't use it when somebody don't have enough insurance, then you might as well stop paying for it, because that's the only time you can use it. At that point, you're giving Progressive, you're giving State Farm, you're giving Geico free money. So we got to stop trying to give these insurance companies free money. And then the other part on the same topic is, well, if I go to the doctor, I'm giving the doctors all the money. Well, if you don't go to the doctor, you're giving State Farm, you're giving Progressive, you're giving Geico the money, because they ain't going to give it to you. If you don't go to the doctor, they not paying you. So why not give it to the doctor that's trying to help you? And we got the ability to be able to negotiate those bills. If you don't go to the doctor, they not paying you no real money. That's just that. On the other end of the spectrum with the criminal, one thing, and this is obvious as far as giving statements, for some reason, I don't know how to talk people out of this, but when people get caught up in a jam, they think for some reason they can convince a police officer out of charging them. When they putting you in that room, they charging you. So there's nothing that you're going to be able to tell this officer to get yourself out. All you doing is putting yourself in a box. You putting yourself in the box, and you giving them a story that you got to stick to at trial. If you don't stick to it at trial, they're going to say, oh, you was lying. So, I mean, it looks bad. It looks like it's incriminating, and I understand you about to go have to post a bond because they about to arrest you, but they was going to arrest you anyway. So how about you help yourself and you help, John Fuller and all these Gregory Carter, because I don't do criminal no more. Help them out by not giving those statements.
Shut up.
Just don't talk, because you're not going to talk yourself out of a charge. No matter how cold you are, I can't talk myself out of a charge. I'm telling you, you can't, period. So at the end of the day, just sit there and say, look, I need my lawyer. I'm not giving no statements. Take me to booking. I'm going to bond out. If you can't bond out, you just got to wait it out. But there's nothing you're going to be able to do to get yourself out of a charge ever when they put you in that room. All they trying to do is box you in.
Facts.
So, like I said, that's the most important part I can give somebody as far as dealing with that. And I'm not trying to protect criminals or what. It's for the system.
Right. Don't
give them no statement. They trick you. They lying to you. In fact, I had the police officer on the stand last week. My bad, the mic kind of tripping. Right. I had a police officer on the stand on the case I was talking about, and he never even got my client's story at this point. He just went to the scene, processed the scene, and I asked him, I said, well, you told my client you believe this story. So you believe this story, right? And tell him to tell a jury. No. So why did you tell him that? He was like, that was a strategy. A strategy? A strategy for what? Why are you strategizing to try to convict my client? You don't even know what happened yet. You haven't even processed the scene and then put it with his story. He processed the scene, went talked to my client, and started lying to him immediately. What's the purpose of that? So when they got their eye on you, you're not getting yourself out of that situation. You might as well just start calling bail bondsmen.
Why on Fuller suit? Like, what made Fuller so special? You ever heard of John Fuller? Though, why? What make him so special? Like,
when you get bigger cases and you start getting on TV.
But before the big cases, he was like the go-to. Like in the hood, John Fuller was the go-to person if you had any type of murder
well.
situation.
So this is what I'll tell you.
time.
And this, he might disagree with me, so you might have to get Fuller in here.
Right.
This is my point, because a lot of people say, man, you got a public pretender, you got a public. John Fuller was a public defender. You know what happened when he was working there? He got a lot of experience. He saw everything. So he put in the work. And those public defenders down there, especially in Orleans Parish, they a dog. Like, they really doing their thing. So what happened is he put in that work. He was able to go to trial probably 30 times because they bringing shit to trial in New Orleans. Right. He got the experience, and now he know this. And he got a real connection with New Orleans jurors. He know how to convince them to see the case the way he see it. And most of his clients probably be innocent. So I'm not saying he getting off guilty people. Right. You know. So it's a situation where he just know what he's doing. He's well in tune with what he's doing.
What do you say to the people who might say that he is getting off guilty people?
And what I say is that's on the state. That's on the state of Louisiana through the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office. Or it's on NOPD, or it's on the Sheriff's Office, or it's on whatever arresting agency. Because, again, if they did everything they were supposed to do and this guy's guilty, he shouldn't get off. So if he's getting off, it's either because he's innocent or because something went wrong. Because the system shouldn't, not work. It works. And like I said, they did everything they were supposed to do, they shouldn't get off. So like I said, he knows that system and the criminal, and not to brag on myself, I'm the guy with the personal injury. Like me and my brother, we really put in work with the personal injury corrects. So it's just like when you really put that work into that, what you're doing. I mean, like I said, what I'm doing with personal injury now in 2022 versus what I was doing in 2015. I mean, you can't even see me in 2022 because I just know what I'm doing at this point. Right. And that's how he is in the criminal.
I'm happy we got him this year because guess what? He might be too big for us to get him in the next 2 or 3 years. One thing I can say about you, bro. You give back to the community so much, and I don't know if people really know this. You know what I'm saying? Like, not even on no bragging shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about the coaches with Nord, some of the park coaches, and some of the teams that you supply uniforms with, supply pom-poms for us at Goretti. Like, speak on why you feel like. And I don't even much know if I want to word this like this, but I really want to ask you why more people from not just your profession, but from that come from the hood. Why you don't think more people give back to like the parks and the coaches and stuff, and the people who really like spend time with the kids? Why you think more people don't give back, bro?
Couple reasons, especially in my profession. So most people that's lawyers from where I'm from, they went to St. Aul. If they black, they went to St. Aul or some other private school. I went to public school. I went to Lil Phillip, Big Phillip. I went to Rod Wayne. So I played park football at Willie Hall. I played there I know what it is. My nephew play at the parks. So I'm still involved in it. And I've been through that, where you got these other guys that where they come from, they never was hurting. If you went to St. Aul and you ain't getting no scholarship, I'm talking about your parents paid for you to go to St. Aul, no disrespect to St. Aul or anything like that. You came from a different background than what I come from. So I understand it. And so when you got certain lawyers that might give back, certain doctors or chiropractors, whatever they are, and they doing it, they doing it from a standpoint of marketing. I don't never post anything I give to anybody, who I give it to might talk about it. Now, it could be, it's two reasons. One, I don't need to do it. I'm not even doing it for that reason. And two, when you start doing that, everybody gonna come at. I ain't got unlimited money. I got a finite amount of money. But one thing is, if somebody reach out to me and they really need it, especially if it's dealing with kids, I'm gonna do it 100%. Like 100%, because my kids are blessed. My kids don't really ask for anything. Well, they do. They ask for a lot of shit, but they kind of good.
Nothing.
Yeah, they don't need anything.
It's your punk ass parents.
So for me, I'm always gonna do it. So, like I said, I don't advertise it. I don't need to talk about it, but everybody know if they're involved with kids, they can reach out to me, and I'm always do what I can for them.
That's a fact. Dog. It was something I want. Oh, that's what I wanted to see. You brought up the St. Aug situation, like some of the kids they go to St. Aug. I think that's the importance of park ball, and because at the park, it ain't matter. Like you got kids from every walk of life at the park. Kids, you don't have a daddy, you got 3 daddies, nigga. You got 2 mamas, nigga. Like all type of situations. You hear me? Like, oh, your daddy a police and your mama a police, and oh, your mama smoke crack and your mama work at the front store. Like, you have all these different walks of life that just come together because you want to make 5 and 6 football work. You want to make 7 and 8 football work. Oh, I'm gonna be over the mouthpiece. Or I'm gonna give them water. Right. So you got all these different walks of lives like smushed together. And that's why I think it's so special and they need to be protected. And that's why I salute people like you. You know what I'm saying? I salute people like you who work with kids and work with young up and coming artists and you know what I'm saying? Just helping them try to see their dream, because I know as a producer, you watching artists go through shit that you don't feel like hearing. Like, they not the polished product yet, you know what I'm saying? But you got to sit up here and record this nigga for 16 hours. He gonna pay you $20 an hour. It ain't really worth it, but you believe in the craft, and you the same. You out here, you making sure motherfuckers have a future. Like, you getting motherfuckers the knowledge more so. Every time you get a lawyer, hopefully you get some fucking knowledge, because the lawyer always, every time I talk to him, he tell me some good shit, and I soak up some new fucking game, bro.
Shit, you be giving me game too. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I ain't sharpen iron, dog. Like,
for real.
I stay fucking with him though. Like, how I call this motherfucker out the blue and just ask him some random shit just because I'm thinking of some shit. That's how I am.
You get the crazy questions too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said, like that keep me, you know, like keep me involved, because like I said, sometimes, especially when I'm dealing with the people I work with,
right.
That's a whole different world.
That's a whole nother world.
Yeah. And I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that world. There's nothing wrong with the world,
This
but
is a different world.
that ain't what I'm living on a day-to-day basis.
I used to
That's
work
not where
at
I'm from.
201 St. Charles. So
You did?
yeah.
Okay, that's what my office is right now.
Oh well, I know the whole world.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn, New Orleans small as a motherfucker.
It is.
Dog.
We all connected.
So hopefully, through these conversations, through building these dialogues, you got Keenan from the music world. You got you as a black lawyer. Me, I'm into independent media. I'm trying to tie in all these worlds of people. Hopefully, we could build a dialogue to build something that could help our community out, bro. In these trying times where we feel like we don't have no real answers. Something I want to introduce to you just on here, like we trying to start something called TMA to DMA. It's called a Teen Mom Association, Teen Dad Association. So we have these meetings, whether we do it on Zoom, whether we just try to come up with step-by-step solutions on just attacking some of these problems, instead of just watching them blow up in public and represent us in a bad way, in a bad light. We lost an 80-year-old grandmother. I think I wrote her name down. I didn't write her name down. I apologize, but we lost an 80-year-old grandmother, and that's not a real representation of who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, we hard-working people in the city, and that's unfortunate that we have to, go through that this week with all this shit going on. But I want to salute you for just holding us down, bro, just in a professional way, bro. Right. Anything you want to say? Like,
I always talk about when I can address kids, and I don't know if kids going to see this or not, but I just want to be somebody that they can look at and say, look, man, I can do it, because as I told you before, my GPA wasn't all that great. So even if you're in the 11th grade, 12th grade, you think, you can't do it, you can do it. Trust me, I didn't think I was going to be a lawyer until I was graduating UNO undergrad. I made that decision last minute. So, and you don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to be a doctor. You could be whatever you can be, but so long as you put in the work. And what I tell kids all the time, you can work hard while it's easy when you're a kid, when all you got to do is do schoolwork. Or you can work damn hard when you get older, having to wake up at 5 a.m. because they put you on the shift on Monday, and then you got to go back at 7 o'clock the next morning. So you're going to work hard at some point in your life. It's easy to work hard when you're younger, get your act together, and it'll be much more relaxed when you get older. So I always tell people putting the work in, shit, it's possible.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's some fire advice. I ain't going to lie. Work while you're young. Because them old knees.
It's all good, boss. They caught everything.
You don't have no knees like Megan. You hear me?
But for real, boy, I'm telling you, like, doing that homework, and I hated homework when I was young, but shit, if I could have had like a 3.5 at Rod Wayne and then a 3.8 at UNO, shit, I wouldn't have no debt, and my debt is manageable or whatnot. But I'd be much better off than what I am right now, and most people would think I'm blessed. So, shit, I tell my kids all the time, you better do that goddamn homework. It's easy.
One thing I want you to see, and this I feel like is gonna be important to end off on. Talk to a kid that's going to high school this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is last year park ball. Now he's going into high school. He's taking sports serious, like you kind of took basketball serious.
Right.
Recruit him into being a lawyer.
And see, I don't want to recruit him to being a lawyer, but the law field is pretty nice. I mean, as I told you earlier, it's like a legal hustle. It's nothing better than being able to, one, work for yourself, and even if you're working for somebody else, you have a sense of, I know for me, like I said, I didn't want to be a lawyer my whole life, but when I do it, I really enjoy it. So you don't necessarily have to be a lawyer. I'm not telling anybody to be a lawyer, but you want to figure out what you want to be, because when you do so, life becomes easier. If you just freestyle it, and I understand I freestyled it for me, but it ain't easy when you're trying to go about it that way. So, like I said, if you can get your act together when you're in the 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, or even 12th, if you figure that out, life would be so much easier for you. But like I said, from my standpoint, especially coming from where I come from, we need to be represented by people like us. Like I said, I don't want to say no other lawyers' names in a negative light, but we don't need to be taking our cases to them. Like I said, if you got a criminal case, bring that to John Fuller, bring that to Gregory Carter, bring that to Ralph Stewart. If you got a personal injury case, bring all that to me. But like I said, it's nice to be represented by people like us than to go to those people that don't look like us, and it's just not authentic. I'm just being real with you. It's not authentic. You might think it's authentic. Some of them might be authentic, but for the most part, it's not authentic. So it's nice to have people like us taking care of us. So if you can become another person from a situation that I came from, and able to, help out people in situations, because everybody needs a lawyer at some point in time. If you can help out our own kind of people, then we're going to start being protected. And then you may be able to give back to the same community that you came from. And that's critical, that we can then start lifting people up from where we come from. So, not whether you're going to be a basketball player, you're going to be a lawyer, doctor, chiropractor, a nurse, whatever you're going to be, like I said, so long as we start taking care of our own people and not letting other people take care of us, we'll be much better.
I would love to see a lot of these professionals like yourself come back and to these parks and stuff and start programs to teach kids the law. You know what I'm saying? That would get them started early on, being a doctor, or being a lawyer, being a scientist, because we have these people right here in New Orleans in our community. You know what I'm saying? And we work with them, like the football players come back and work with the football kids. But the lawyers don't always come back and work with the kids to show them that you could be a lawyer. We need lawyers too. We need doctors too. We need scientists. We need veterinarians. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need all these important things, especially when we talk about building a community, because we the ones that's cooking the food. We the ones that got the recipes.
Unfortunately, you got to pay for private school to get that now.
But we got it. Yeah. We don't have to charge each other. We charge each other what the fuck we want to charge. That's private school because that's ran by the archdiocese that run every fucking thing in the city. But they don't run the ghetto. That's the whole thing. None of them motherfuckers up top
that's why we
coming
behind,
in the trenches,
bro.
except, like you said, like you, Fuller, the motherfuckers that come from the trenches are connected to black people. They gonna come in the trenches because they got the pass to come and go. They don't. They ain't coming here. You know what I'm saying? So we control this shit. This the trenches. So I feel like we gonna build this shit up, and having this dialogue, that's what's gonna really make it happen, because it's gonna make people think. It's gonna make them talk, not the masses. You know what I'm saying?
But one last thing, because it's easy to go back as an athlete. So it's easy for Tyron to come back to Willie Hall, and everybody look at him like, oh man, it's Tyron. And it's easy for a basketball player to come back in the hood. It's easy for an artist, a rapper, to come back in the hood, and everybody. Being a lawyer ain't sexy until you're a lawyer when you're making that bread. Because, like I said, you become a lawyer at 25, you're going to be a lawyer until you're 70, until you die. So you making that steady income all those years. but it's just not sexy because you ain't got the nice, chant. Well, I mean, my brother got a real nice car, and I ain't flashy or nothing like that. But you can have those things, but being a lawyer not really flashy or whatnot.
It take a minute to get, as with everything, it take a minute, but I understand where you.
Yeah, but like I said, it's hard. It don't matter what lawyer it is. Maybe the lawyers they got.
And they got some struggling lawyers. Huh?
Oh, they got a lot of struggling lawyers.
The lady who represented me, I was like, I think I should be representing you.
So that's what I'm saying. And it shouldn't even be about that because at the end of the day, what you're doing as a lawyer is much greater than the money.
Right.
But it comes with money. And
when you think about lawyer, you don't think about struggling lawyers.
Yeah, you don't.
You think about lawyer, bitch. Yo, if my child what percentage of the lawyers struggling?
All of them when you start, right?
No, I'm asking real shit.
Like I said, I was kind of blessed because Supa put me in the game immediately when I first started doing it.
So a huge percentage of lawyers are struggling in the profession?
Well, a lot of lawyers go work for other people. They ain't struggling. A lot of people that's going out on their own.
What percentage is that of the black ones?
I can't really
of all of them.
I don't really even want.
Not even the black ones. Like what percentage of all the lawyers you feel like in New Orleans that's like not like getting constant work? Percent. You don't have to say a name like percent.
I ain't gonna say no name because I don't know what other people's pockets looking like.
Percent.
Shit, I'll probably say 30 to 40, probably 30 to 40%. And I'm not saying
I mean, most of them people might just hang up their cleats from being a lawyer sometimes.
No, so at some point, and it may just be you coming out too soon. Like I said, I'm blessed because I had a situation where somebody that was real popular put me out there, and it just worked. Right. If I didn't have that, I might be working at one of them. I was
the most popular person he knew at the time. That was I'm like, he been new Supa. Well, I'm saying, like, I did promo for him before Supa did.
Right. But like I said, I did giveaways and everything with her, so it kind of helped me out. But
she just did some phenomenal shit with him.
Yeah, but there's some people that don't have that.
Right.
So when you go get a building, and you paying $2,000 a month. You got to go hire people. So now that's employees might be another $2,000 a month, or more than that. And then you got to start. You still got to work. You still got to have all the supplies. That's a lot of money coming out every month. So if you're not bringing in enough clients, or especially if you're doing personal injury only, like we doing, you might sign a case up today, but it might not settle until December. So you got to survive those 7 months with no money coming in, or 6 months with no money coming in until that case settles.
Right.
So it's not like they struggling just because they're struggling. It's hard. That's why I say it's nice if people like us support people like us. So even if you ain't bringing it to me, they got other people out here that's doing it that come from where we come from, or even just look like we look, and you should bring that case to them because at the end of the day, we should be supporting our people. Like, I feel like I'm very qualified in what I do, but there's other people that's qualified as well. So we ain't only got to trust such and such name, or the one call and all that. We ain't gotta only trust those people.
That's what winning, my man.
We ain't gotta trust those people.
We in love with him.
Yeah, so you can come to people that look just like us, and I guarantee you're not just gonna be a number. You're gonna get some real representation. So that's my point. And I ain't saying they struggling because they bad. It's just
waiting
a tough
on a
process.
check. They like, Juvie, bitch, I might not have it now, but I just got me a check.
Wow.
So this Benjimanzroom, episode 8.
Number 8.
Oh, we rolling, you hear me? We got the hottest lawyer in the city, you hear me?
Make sure you check him
sitting
out.
on the fucking couch in Music Box Studio, you hear me? Look, I love y'all. We out. Dog, how rich you is? How rich, like I seen you in Egypt, nigga. You gotta be rich. So,
I wouldn't go back though. I ain't really like it.
Cause you rich.
No, it really wasn't that fire.
The fucking sand dunes. And
nah,
shit.
I went to St. Lucia though. Like that shit was fire.
St. Lucia?
Yeah.
Wait, what's the most fire place? St. Lucia, the most fire place?
Fireest place.
You been to London and shit?
I ain't excited about London.
My mama said London was the shit.
See, I ain't excited about it. I might go out there for the game, but that don't really excite me.
My pops told me before I die, I gotta go to Italy.
See, that
You
just
need to go quick
I want to go to
before they about
Greece.
to sing.
I want to go to Greece, like on the cool. I was supposed to go this summer, but like London just don't really. It's just